In this video, we will be exploring the historical context behind the Berlin startup scene, trying to dive in and figure out what exactly has happened to cause all of this and how things are going to be looking in the future. If this is something you think you might enjoy watching, consider sticking around and consider subscribing. Things are not looking too good right now if you are a tech startup in Berlin. At least that is according to an article written by Dr. Thomas Prüver, who is a partner at Ernst & Young. In the said article, he writes and speculates about some of the reasons we might be seeing such low numbers this year. He speculates that some of the reasons why investors are being more cautious than usual, considering the rates of inflation, the particularly high interest rates, and the ongoing wars in the region, causing quite a bit of geopolitical uncertainty, and all of this leads to a lackluster economic outlook for the future. If we were to put numbers behind these figures, we can see exactly how big the difference actually is. Last year, there was a total of 6 billion euros collected in funding, and that is down from a total of 17.4 billion euros in 2021, an absolutely huge difference. In fact, it isn't just the city of Berlin that's experiencing such a steep decline in market share. In fact, all parts of the entire country are experiencing in some form a negative decline. It seems that this is not a localized problem, but is in fact a German problem. In the post-Cold War era, Berlin underwent a pretty remarkable transformation, evolving from what was once a divided city into a vibrant hub of innovation and startups. The reunification of Germany in the year 1990 set a stage for Berlin's emergence as a creative and entrepreneurial powerhouse. Historically, things like low living costs, a thriving art scene, and a unique blend of cultures is what has attracted young and ambitious talents to the city. As well as that, the city's resilience and willingness to embrace change fostered an environment where startups could flourish. And over the years, Berlin's startup scene has grown exponentially, with tech hubs like Kreuzberg and Mitte becoming synonymous with innovation. From e-commerce giants to things like cutting-edge technology ventures, Berlin's journey reflects a compelling narrative of reinvention and success that is ultimately what put it on the map in the global startup landscape. But enough about history, let's get back to what things look like today. If we look a bit more closely into the types of companies that were actually able to secure some of the very limited available funding, we quickly noticed that a significant amount of them were tech startups that were focused in particular on AI and AI technologies. AI and AI adjacent related startups still received a large total of investment of a total of about 460 million in terms of risk capital. That still shows that there is in fact investor faith in this topic despite the poor economic foresights. And all of this is in contrast to other historically popular sectors for investments such as mobility, fintech, and health sectors experiencing a very sharp decline in terms of funding. Dr. Prüver suggests that the current economic ecosystem is actually undergoing a type of transformation. Germany's infrastructure and tech systems being generally lacking from a historical sense, and that may actually be an underlying cause. Perhaps investors are actually now just opening up to exploring new regions that are starting to gain prominence. And should all of that be true, it would mean that despite all of these challenges, Germany's technology sector is still remaining to be a very strong growth driver, and despite current poor economic outlooks, there is still some amount of optimism among investors that this is simply a transitional stage and would lead to higher times of higher investor confidence and higher movement and growth from this current low point. So what exactly does this mean for the average German investor like you and I? Well, most experts actually point towards this being a very temporary situation due to a variety of compounding factors and economic and political issues. And despite all of this, investors are still just as willing to invest into hot topics such as AI. Perhaps most importantly of all, the key takeaway from all of this is actually that this does not signal oncoming doom and gloom for the entire investment scene in Germany or perhaps in Europe entirely. This is just a particularly painful low point. And there we go. If you enjoyed this video about the Berlin startup scene and a little bit of discussion around the implications of the current news, consider liking the video and subscribing if you would like to see similar material from me. But I guess that's about it, and I will go ahead and wish you all a great day and take care.